Welcome back to my channel. On Thursday, December 18th, Nike is going to report their next earnings. And in today's video, we are going to discuss whether it's a good time to buy the Nike stock right now or whether it's actually a bad time to buy the stock. When we take a look at the price action of the last 5 years, we can definitely see that Nike shareholders had very bad times. Over minus 50% in only 5 years is definitely very bad. The question right now, of course, is whether Nike can go back to these levels of over $100 per share, and that's exactly what we are going to discuss in today's video, what it takes, what has to happen, and how likely that is. But first of all, why should you even listen to me? I already published 2 videos on Nike this year, one of them here in June and one of them here in September. And in both of them, I came to the conclusion that Nike will not see a significant uptrend in the rest of 2025 and it won't trade above $100 this year. That's exactly what happened. We could say that we are now moving sideways since March 2025. So the main question right now is whether something has changed since the last video and whether the stock can start its uptrend to go back to over $100 per share. One thing I also have to mention before we get right into it, make sure to understand that nothing I say is financial advice in any regard. This video is only for informational and entertaining purposes only. Always do your own research. I could be wrong. But at the end of the video, I will exactly tell you whether I already own Nike shares or whether I'm going to buy this week. So stick around until the end. So let me quickly summarize what happened over the last couple of years and what has caused this downtrend. I'm sure that all of you know that the shoe business is the most important part for Nike, especially the sneakers game. So the shoes that people wear in their everyday life and not the shoes that they buy for sports. Of course, they are important as well, but the most important part are the sneakers, especially the series Air Jordan, Air Max, and probably the Air Force One. And in my opinion, the reason why Nike did so well between 2017 and 2021 is that the demand for the shoes Air Force One and Air Jordans did go up significantly from 2018 to 2021, as you can see right here in the Google search trends, which is always a good indicator to look at when you want to find out what people are actually buying right now. Before people buy it, they have to search for it, and the search interest, of course, is directly correlated to the sales. And as you see right here, the search interest for both of these categories reached a peak in November, December 2021, and then from 2021 to, let's say, 2025, they have been in the downtrend. Right now it seems like they are moving sideways, and when we compared it to the Nike stock price chart, it looks exactly the same. Big downtrend since 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020 and 2021, and since then we are in a downtrend. And as you can see right here, the Nike price chart, the stock price chart, looks very similar. We have seen the uptrend between 2017 and 2021, then we had the significant decline until April 2025, and since then we are kind of in a more sideways movement. And also when we take a look at the search interest for the category Air Max, when we take the United States for example, which is of course the most important country, the most important market, we can see that the search interest right now in 2024 and 2025 is significantly lower than it was in 2021 or even 2022. So you see that the search interest, the consumer interest for these 3 categories that are the most important categories for Nike has significantly decreased since 2021, and over the last 5 months it hasn't changed. It did not turn around, the interest is not back, and we cannot see an uptrend as of right now. The only uptrend that we can see is in the category Nike Shox, but as you can see right here, this is significantly less important than the Air Force Ones for example, and also of course way less important than the category Nike Air Max, and also less important than Air Jordans. And Nike definitely failed the product innovation over the last couple of years. They have not been able to come up with a new pair of sneakers that everyone wants to buy, and that is why other companies took market share. For example, Adidas in 2023 and 2024, for example with the Adidas Sambas that got very popular in 2024, not only in the US but also in Europe. As you can see right here, when we take a look at the worldwide search interest, it even started in late 2022 throughout 2023 and it peaked in 2024. 2024. And they also had another great sneaker that many people wanted to buy, which is the Adidas Campus, which also peaked in March 2024 right here, as you can see. So they took market share from Nike in 2023 and 2024. But Adidas was not the only brand. Another brand which took market share from Nike is definitely New Balance. That also started kind of in 2022 and did go through 2023 and 2024. Here you can see one of the New Balance shoes that got hyped very much, and they definitely took some market share from Nike. And then in 2024 and 2025 especially, we have another brand that is taking market share from Nike at the moment, which is ASICS, as you can see right here in the search interest. So ASICS became definitely way more popular than it was a couple of years ago. Here you can also see a podcast where a store owner is talking about it. This video was published 9 months ago, and he talked about his experience, how ASICS took market share from Nike and he started to sell more and more of the ASICS shoes. I'm sure that if you are in the sneaker game or if you look around you, you will definitely see more and more people wearing ASICS. And of course that has also translated to their stock price, which you can see right here. Especially during 2024, the ASICS stock did very, very well. Exactly the opposite to what Nike is doing. And also the Adidas stock did very, very well between the end of 2022 and 2025. This was exactly the time where the hype of the Adidas Campus and the Adidas Samba took place. So if you observe a trend in the sneakers game, you can definitely guess what the stock price is going to do next. Another example for that is On Holdings, which is also a sneaker brand. They did very, very well between the end of 2022 and let's say the beginning of 2025. And here you can see how their search interest did go up over the last couple of years. I'm sure that you have seen a couple of people wearing these shoes around you, and all these companies combined, Adidas, ASICS, New Balance, On Holdings, they all took market share of Nike over the last couple of years, and that is why the Nike stock price went down significantly. And the only reason why the stock price would go up to the old levels is that Nike takes back market share. They need to sell more shoes, they need to have higher margins, they need less discounts, but therefore they need to create a hype around a sneaker, a new sneaker, and as of right now they are not able to do that. If they do that, we are the first ones who can observe that. We can front run Wall Street, we can see it before them. But in my opinion, as of right now in December 2025, there are no signs that this is currently happening, and that is why I personally don't expect that the stock price will go back above $100 in the next couple of months. I don't say that the earnings report cannot be a little bit better than expected and the stock price can go up 10-15%. That's definitely possible, but I don't expect a big move over the next couple of months, because before we see something like that, we need a new hype. Let's take a look, for example, at the search interest for Air Force right now in 2025 compared to 2021. It is way below the 2021 levels. The red line is 2021 and the blue line is 2025. The same thing is true for Air Jordans. You can also see that the red line of 2021, the search interest of 2021 is way higher than 2025. And even for the Air Max category, we have a similar picture. The difference is not as big as for the Air Force Ones or for the Air Jordans, but it's still a relatively big difference. It is smaller right now in Q4 than it was in Q1 and Q2, but it's still a significant difference, and we need the consumer interest for these categories to go up. But right now, as I said, there are no signs that this is happening, and the product innovation is definitely missing. The Nike sneaker game is not as hot anymore as it was in 2019, 2020, 2021, and they also have hard times to increase prices, to increase profit margins. Just compare the sneaker prices right now from Nike compared to, let's say, 2015. Yes, they did go up a little bit, but then compare the prices of a cheeseburger at McDonald's in 2015 and right now in 2025. McDonald's, for example, has been able to increase the prices way more than sneaker companies. The sneaker business is highly competitive, as you have probably seen in this video right here. Other brands are not sleeping. ASICS, Adidas, On Holdings, and even Salomon is experiencing a little hype right now, especially in Europe, I think. Here you can see the search interest worldwide for the most important sneaker model. You can see right here the interest is going higher, and that's not what we are seeing for the most important Nike sneakers. And that is also why I don't own any Nike shares as of right now in December 2025. I don't expect a significant price move in the next couple of months, but I definitely think that this will change over the next couple of years. There will be a point where the hype comes back to Nike, where they come up with a new sneaker that everyone wants to buy and they gain back market share. That's possible, but I'm not buying based on that. I only want to buy when I see that happening in real time and not before that. So right now, in my opinion, it's not a good time to buy the Nike stock. It's possible that it goes up 10-20%, but I don't expect a bigger move than that. I hope you got some value out of the video. If you did, please consider to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, or to write a comment, and then we will see us in the next video. Before the next earnings report, I will definitely make a video about Nike once again, and we will see whether something has changed until then. Goodbye.